with the formalities.
Yes.
So, Magnus, you're the architect of this webinar, so you should be the one who actually greets everyone welcome.
Yeah. Welcome everyone. My name is Magnus Burton, and I'm a technical specialist here at Cinode, and I'm delighted to have Mark with me today.
Yeah, I'm backing up the star, Magnus here, to make sure we get through this webinar in a controlled way, asking questions and facilitating also all the questions we are confident that the audience, will bring us through the chat or later on, as these possibilities we now can use and will show today are really game changers. So my name is Mark, and I've been working running the company with Magnus and other people for the last 13 years. And yeah, I think you all will agree and understand that it doesn't get less interesting just because the years have passed by. Quite contrary, actually, from the perspective of providing a sauce towards consultancies. So we have a good bunch of people that have already checked in, and we are 2 minutes after. So why not just hit it away, Magnus? What is this webinar about then, or the agenda?
So our agenda today is why is MCP big and what is it? And also we will be sharing some practical use cases for you to be able to wrap your head around the protocol, how it can be used, and why it matters to you. Then we'll jump into a quick demo, and we will be having a short Q&A session later. And we want to remind you as well, if you're new, that please send your questions in the chat, and we will answer them throughout and in the Q&A session.
Great. So just flying into this where before we get more hands-on. So why is MCP big, and why does it matter to us and to our customers? So just to try to simplify this in the most easy way, is that we quickly depart now from the old world. And the old world was that to bring value in a SaaS, you need to engage people to log in and interact with a UI. And one important point is that you need to have a UI. If the feature is not in the UI, the feature does not exist, and the value cannot be extracted. Then for many years we have been offering APIs, but then we have to engage more technical people to integrate our API, to link systems together, or to extract the value that needs to be extracted in beyond what the UI can offer the user. In the new world, in contrast, SaaS value is capabilities that we expose through our API, and hand it over to an AI that can understand what the API can do and can solve the customer's problem. And the customer only needs to be able to master one language, Swedish, English, or even mix the language. And you don't even need to know the language that well to still get the work done. So this is the simplifying way of trying to just carve out old world versus new world.
And an AI is only as smart as the data it can access. It has been trained on a bunch of data, but it has from the beginning only had access to that training data. And so how do you expose your large set of data to the AI? AI started implementing, or AI companies started implementing web search, for example. This is a great way to expose new data to the AI. And so what MCP does is that it exposes APIs that has been around for a long time, and it helps you to use the structured output of the API and merge it with other APIs. So you can combine a bunch of data and expose that to the AI. It also allows you to combine the tools to enable you as a user to create new features that we haven't even thought of implementing in the Cinode UI. So you can create this merge customer feature that you have always been longing for example. So MCP, what is it? It is, think of it as the USB port for your AI applications. You can see here to your right that MCP icon is the adapter between SharePoint, for example, Google Drive, Slack, Outlook, Teams, and it allows these applications to provide data for your AI clients, such as ChatGPT, Claude, and Cursor. No need for custom integrations. This means that you can it's a quick and easy authenticate and go protocol, which makes it super easy for you as a customer and all your colleagues to set it up. And so what does this bring to you? It's a natural language conversation with your Cinode data. So now for a quick demo, we're gonna jump into Claude here. And so I have here a prompt or a query where I would like Claude to suggest me a team of front-end and back-end developers that are available from the 1st of December. And so what this does is that it breaks down this query into it dissects it and finds the available tools that we have exposed throughout the MCP server. It then uses the instructions or details that these tools share and tries to solve my question or prompt. So here we found that it got a list of employees. It looked through their availability to find available users, both front-end and back-end developers. And then it looked through the list again to find some more. And so here we have a concise list of Daniel, Joanne, Josephine, and Caroline. Yeah, it's a bunch of front-end and back-end developers here. And so now we can do ask it to make a short team presentation. So maybe make me a team presentation to present to my client for Daniel. And let's see who's gonna be Mathilda.
So just to reiterate a little bit, Magnus, what happened there. So we have an API. We have like a manifest file that conforms to the MCP standard. So the AI will be able to dissect the natural text instruction, and it will look into the catalog to find out, well, how far can I go to satisfy the need that was expressed in the text.
Exactly.
So does it know anything about, because we could see from the reply that it started to breaking up the task. Does it know anything about in which sequence it should do things, or will it figure it out by itself?
It can mostly figure it out by itself. We have in the manifest, we have included some custom instructions. Like if you want to get A, you first have to get B and C to be able to supply the IDs or whatever. So that's it's a small push in the right direction. But
So
otherwise, yeah,
we give the AI a little bit of help, but basically we are just wrapping our API in the form of so-called actions
exactly.
that the MCP client can understand. Okay.
So here, just this is a short but sweet demo of a team presentation. So here we got the AI Claude. It looked through the two Daniel and Matilda's profiles, got their work experiences, skills, past employers, etc., and combined this into a HTML presentation. Claude can also generate PDFs or Word files, for example. So that's very cool stuff. And so here is a team presentation. Yes, moving on. How does it work then? So you can use Claude, ChatGPT, Copilot, and Copilot as in Microsoft Copilot. You can also use any supporting AI SDKs to be able to use this programmatically. And so what we saw here in the demo was that the AI took my instructions, looked at the separate list of available tools, and then figured out in which sequence to do what in order to satisfy my need. What this enables us to do is to leverage the AI capabilities in order to not only look at data, but find, group, create, and update it so we can do a bunch of bulk actions. And then who can benefit from this? For example, a consultant. Maybe you want to add and improve reference text to your profile, so you just type it in, and the AI can help you figure out where it goes, what to add, maybe ask you some follow-up questions if they need more context. A team lead can find team members with, for example, the React Native skill on a level 3 and above, and then propose a 2-week overlap schedule where these people share knowledge or schedule a knowledge transfer. HR can use this for competence management and workforce statistics. We could also use it for headcount summaries by team and role. So we could get a highlight net. There goes my screensaver. Net hires versus departures. So this is very fitting for the entire organization.
And needless to say, since we are a sales enabler, all people in sales roles and bid management can leverage massively from accessing the data. So now we can, in principle, unlock all the great information we have about skills and availability in the system, and you can get bespoke replies that fit to a specific bid or to a specific sales occasion.
Exactly. And now I think we're gonna open up for some questions. Or first, this is a great example of what this does. So these are some available tools that the AI sees, and so you see available users, create customer, get customers, get currencies, for example. As a human, if I tell you I want to get this done, you could look through these and figure out the best way to make it happen. But it hasn't been available or easily done, achievable by the AIs until MCP. So these are just a small part of the available tools, and we will like keep providing tools as the time goes on. And so if you have any suggestions of tools or ideas, feel free to reach out. You also see here that we have a merge customer tool here. This is both available as a tool, but it can also be done by you. So if you say, I want to merge the McDonald's team into the Burger King team, the McDonald's customer into the Burger King customer, the AI can figure out that it has to merge the events, the tags, the projects, the roles, and it will get started working on that. And so now,
Great.
maybe some questions.
Yes, one of our attendees, Peter, he says that his first glance trying this out through Claude made him very pleased, and he wants to know more about when it's available in Copilot. So
Yes, so the current version now is uh, requiring us to use OAuth for authentication, and that is only accessible to a few tools such as Claude. The next iteration, I don't have an exact timeline on that, but I hope it's gonna be before the end of November, perhaps.
yes, it is work in progress on
Yeah.
our end, so we don't think it's too far away, Peter. And also now we have some early adopters that have been using this through Claude or through Visual Studio Code, but we think that quite soon we'll be able to offer it as a first-class citizen in Teams and Slack. So it will not only be new technology available, but it will also move into where the bulk of the work and communication happens in your companies. So
And
basically, everyone will be able to be a API programmer, just interacting, not even leaving Teams.
we have
Great.
two other questions here. What properties of a consultant can be searched on? Experience, skills, years of experience. Yes, you can. At the moment, you can search semantically through skills. So if I misspell, let's open up a new chat here. If I misspell, find consultants that know Java script with a K. It will be able to semantically find the actual skill I'm looking for. You can also look through profiles, but at the moment you can't search for like profile descriptions and stuff. That's something we're working on, and I mean it's possible to fetch a bunch of employees and then fetch their profiles and then let the AI figure out what you're looking for. But having multiple employees will make this a pretty big query. So here we found some consultants with the JavaScript skill. I hope that satisfied your question.
Yeah, some good questions arrive now with regard to audit logging. And the next version of this, Jessica, is that you will be able to associate everything that happens through AI with a correct identity, the actual user in Cinode. And we have a audit log feature that is constantly being added in terms of new events that customers want to track. So as the technology will scale and mature, we see that we will be able to support you with that need.
And it will be heavily permission oriented. So the person who's, because you're gonna have to extract credentials from Cinode by going to my account up in the right corner. And so you will only be able to do what you can do in the UI. And that's very important to know. So you could use the credentials to use the API on your own, but you have to do stuff, or yeah, you can only do stuff you can do in the UI. And that's very important.
That's great. And related to that, Magnus, with what we offer here now today, how can we prevent that potentially dangerous things in terms of deletion or updates and so on do not happen by mistake?
We have not enabled any remove or delete tools at the moment, just to figure out where we're at, how the AI tools work. But I've seen in testing that the AI prompts me several times before actually executing delete action. Also on that note, when you set up the MCP server, you get a list of available tools, just like this one here. And here you can manually like toggle if you want delete team, for example. If you don't want that like shown to the AI, you can disable the tool. And that applies for any tool. So if you never want the AI to be able to get available users, just disable it in your client.
Okay. What we can add is also why we love this technology is that usually a REST API, I mean, this technology needs to have a REST, some kind of API backed, but usually it's a legacy REST API that has been there for a long time. And since REST is quite thin in terms of what it does, it handles an event or a customer or a project. It doesn't do too many complex operations across many different entities. So the normal case is that adding an API endpoint is quite low effort compared to building a full-fledged feature in the UI. So that's why we already have a quite well-covered API. But if things are missing to start doing really complex tasks that need to be sliced up in sub-steps, so to say, that's normally a very low effort for us, given that the functionality already is in the platform in some way.
And we also have a question here about what we refer to when we speak about the UI. So the UI is we're talking about Cinode.com, the web application. And so what in the sense that we talk, this enables you to do actions in Cinode without being in the web app.
And then some questions around security, how that is handled. And yes, I mean, we need to have an API that is backed, and you need to provide, of course, an API key. And with that, you already have exposed your data in some way, regardless of system. If a system has access to an API key, it will be able to do everything that you can do with that API key. So, and then what actual data will be processed through Claude, for instance, that is up to the prompt, what it will decide that it needs. But of course, as some listeners are thinking about now, is that yes, there is great potential here, but we are unlocking the information from the app. It was much easier from a security perspective, where all the data was locked into an app where you have to log in and you can't do anything else beyond clicking buttons and generating data in different tables or graphs. So the flexibility and possibilities are also coming with some risk exposures.
And when adding this MCP server to your AI client, be sure to check with your provider what their data storage terms and policies are, because we are not exposing it to the AI unless you ask for the data, because the AI is grabbing the data on demand, so to say. We had a question here about the project descriptions. Currently, our sales team struggles to gather all the necessary requirements and consultant skills for each project. We would like to establish a standardized minimum project description for all projects. How should they think there, Mark?
Sorry, I was looking in the chat because I don't see that question. So please just rephrase it, but in a shorter version.
Yeah, how would this person be able to gather all necessary requirements and skills needed for a project description to be able to establish a standardized minimum project description?
Well, my base answer would be that we have different ways of ingesting the projects into our app, and then we have different tools. This is one example now of being able to pull out the information in some more flexible manner, but we have many other tools in place now, Teams integration, Slack integration. So, but we have been doing a lot of development and prompt engineering to fine-tune this technology to be able to understand needs that come in sometimes very short text and sometimes in very long text. Sometimes it's a very brief summary of a need, and sometimes it's a super formalized, mega extensive pack of information that can ultimately become a set of roles in Cinode. So we have an amazing opportunity now to basically enter anything that is unstructured, bring it into a structured format, which is our app and our database. But it doesn't need to continue to be structured just because it was placed in the database. We have these amazing flexibilities now too. You don't need to query the information in some special way, and you don't need to be confined to a special structure of the output, because that's what an Excel export or going into a list. Someone has decided for you how the data should be presented. Of course, maybe you can select which columns you want to see, but that's it. Now you can basically just add information from a tender and say that this is the structure I need. So we have an amazing technology now to bring in unstructured information and then give you the flexibility to bring it out in whatever structure you want. So yeah, that was a good question actually. But that's it. That's the main reason for why Cinode all of a sudden is quite capable now. Like that we don't need to enter data into a form where it's very, very structured and controlled. And if you make a mistake, you won't be able to hit the submit button. So it was very rigid because you need structured data all the way through. and that is no longer. So I think we should maybe wrap up the meeting. We showed some examples. We tried to describe why this is a game changer for us as a provider and partner to our customers, and why it has super strong potential for all customers and their different personas. And yeah, what should they do next, Magnus? The ones that are in the webinar.
Next steps are, if you think this is exciting, if you think this isn't exciting, either way, please reach out to us. And so we can either get you started on this first version that we have, or we can ping you immediately when we have the final version available to everyone. So reach out to our support staff at support.cinode.com, or email us at support@cinode.com, and we'll get back to you.
Great. Okay, Magnus, and the folks still on board in the webinar, thank you so much for taking half an hour of your busy days to plot out the direction for the future. Hopefully see a lot of potential, and that you see that you can 100x the value that you get from Cinode with a very few minutes of effort just activating what we've been showing today. And with that, have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.